Right here with Grant, we've got Thursday night football with Tennessee and Pittsburgh. The Kings go on to Houston for back-to-back games with the Rockets. Any thoughts on the passing of Bob Knight? We can do that as well. The Kings, 1-point loss to the Warriors, and that one has got to claw at you a little bit because it was a very winnable game despite not having De'Aaron Fox. The Kings were in position to win that game, and they let it get away. All right, they let it get away. So we'll see. Now they have 3 games coming up against inferior opponents with Houston, and Portland, and 3-0 has got to be what it needs to be. 3-0. All right, you can't lose any of these games. Just can't. All right, what about the NFL tonight? Titans, Steelers. What do you think? Cody already weighing in. Cody, good to have you here on the stream. I feel like Pittsburgh does good in primetime games. I would agree with you that. Should be a close one, depending on Kenny Pickett's shoulder. Let's see how Will Levis does under constant pressure. I would agree with you. You hit that right on the head. Everything right there. I'm right with you, Cody. And Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin's a heck of a coach. I think Mike Vrabel's a heck of a coach. This should really be I'm with you. I think this should be a very close game. All right. We got a lot more messages coming in. Grant, what do you think about visualizing the win? What do you think about having a mental block against winning the Kings only problem? I don't agree with you with that. This is the same team that last year was third in the West and had an above 500 record on the road. So, how about you took a very good team to the final possession without your best player who runs your team? That would be the equivalent of the Kansas City Chiefs, all right, playing a game, pick any good team, without Patrick Mahomes, all right? Now, maybe I'm a little overboard comparing De'Aaron Fox to Patrick Mahomes, but I'm trying to make the point, all right? The Kings had their best player out against a very good team, and it has nothing to do with visualizing the win, all right? Just they didn't. I did a rant on this morning, and I don't know how you feel. I'm a big Keegan Murray fan, and I love the way the guy's rebounding this year. I think his defense has been very good, but his shot looks horrible right now. And I don't know if Mike Brown's in his head. I don't know if he's thinking too much, but last night his footwork was not good on his threes. He was off balance a lot, and so that concerns me a little bit. Now it's only 4 games. Thank you very much. It's only 4 games, so I'm not going to get carried away. But when you don't have De'Aaron Fox on the floor and you have a lukewarm game from Harrison Barnes and you have Keegan Murray who goes 0 of 7 from 3, okay? You're not gonna beat the Golden State Warriors. You had a chance, but you need more production from those players. And you cannot have Domantas Sabonis going 7 of 12 from the foul line. You can't do that and go on the road and beat the Golden State Warriors. That's what happened. So, again, I love Keegan Murray. I'm a big fan of his. All right? Big fan of his. But he needs to start shooting the ball better. And as Jerry Reynolds always used to say, why would a player miss shots? In other words, players don't miss shots on purpose. They don't miss shots on purpose. Yes, you may ask this question. This says, may I ask why you don't join the pregame show? It would be so awesome to have you before, during, and after. Very simple. Ryan, to me, has come along very, very, very well since we've been doing this for a year. And I want him to continue to get, for lack of a better term, his feet wet. And the only way of doing that is by allowing him to do a show by himself. And quite frankly, I don't really have a lot to add on the pregame show. Like, what am I going to add? What am I going to say that's going to really add to the program? And I think Ryan's doing a hell of a job. And I want him to be able to have his own period of time to grow and continue to get better and better. So that's another reason why. If it were the playoffs, I would join him. Okay? I did that last year in the playoffs on the pregame. But I want him to have his own baby, so to speak. So that's why. All right? Good question, though. All right? Good question. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? We can do so. And Cody, don't even bring up the Jets and the Giants, would you please? I can't get over the end of the sequence of that game either. It's unbelievable. I don't have any problem with Brian Dable trying to kick a field goal there. Of course, you're going to kick a field goal there. So congratulations to my friend for umpiring last night World Series game. Had a no-hitter there for a while and called the last strike. Must have been an honor for him and you watching. I texted him immediately after the game, and we had a nice exchange. He wouldn't mind me reading this to you, by the way. He only missed 3 pitches all game, which is pretty amazing. And I said to him, let's see here. So proud of you. You were great. He goes, this is the first text I'm answering. Thank you, brother. I go, love you, man. Go celebrate this storybook season with your loved ones. You deserve it. Yes, sir. Not even undressed yet. And that was 45 minutes after the game. The one at, because I sent him the message at 10:05. All right. Well, let me take that back. Let me go Eastern time zone. All right. Because then you all get confused. I'll get confused. All right. So I sent him a message at 11:05 Eastern time. He got back to me at 11:10. And then another message at 11:14. And then the one about not even undressed yet was at, 11:45. It's pretty amazing, Anyway, I'm really happy for him. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you, Patrick. I think Rhino's doing a hell of a job too. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Brian says it's early, but I like the depth this year. McGee and Monk have great chemistry so far. I like the depth too. I like the depth too. I've been saying that throughout the season. So anyway, these next 3 games, these are games you can't be throwing away. All right? Absolutely. You cannot be throwing them away. You must win these next 3 games. Now, if you don't, it doesn't mean your season's over, but these all add up at the end of 82. All right? And the Houston Rockets are not a good team. Now, they're coming off a win, but they're not a good team. And you've got to be able to win these 3 games. 2 against Houston, both on the road. Doesn't matter. Kings play much better on the road than they do at home for some reason. So we'll see. You'll see. All right. Again, if you want to send me a message, please do so. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's very simple. You just hit the subscribe button. You're not going to get a bill. You're not going to get harassed with spam. You're not going to get harassed. No, all it is you get notified every time I do a show. You'll know. Whether it's me, whether it's Ryan, whether it's both of us, whether it's Jerry Reynolds. Okay? There you have it. All right. Here we go. Cody. Chiefs, Dolphins. Ravens, Seahawks. Raiders, Giants. Eagles, Cowboys. Bengals, Bills. Chargers, Jets. Grant, it's a loaded slate. Which one you most excited to see? So I was thinking about this morning when I woke up. Probably the Eagles Cowboys. I think that's and then the second would be Bengals Bills. Those are my two games. What about you? Which one? All right. Should the 49ers replace Wilkes if this trend continues? 100%. I think you guys doing a horrible job. 100%. Let me ask you something. It's the same defense as last year, right? For all intents and purposes, it's the same defense. What's the difference? The defensive coordinator. So there you have it. That's the way I look at that. Cody's waiting for the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Can't wait. All right. He likes the neutral field element, the game over in Germany. Gonna have to get up early for that one, huh? Yep. And of course, tonight it gets underway with Tennessee and Pittsburgh. You're right. I think this is the best slate of games so far in the regular season. Good job there, Cody. You're spot on. And again, when I woke up this morning, I was sitting there thinking about, gee, what games, how am I going to watch all these games on Sunday? They're all good. Obviously, getting up early to watch the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Ravens Seahawks going to be a good game too. Raiders Giants not going to be a good game. That Chargers Jets isn't on my list at all. I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I'm going to watch the game. But the point is, that's not a good game. So I would cross off the Raiders Giants and the Chargers and the Jets, and I would just go with Chiefs Dolphins, as you put it, Ravens Seahawks, Eagles Cowboys. Those are the games. I don't really consider the Giants and the Raiders, a good game. I understand the point you're trying to make with Antonio Pierce, and now you have McConnell as quarterback, but that's not a big game. All right. Not a big game. All right. Again, keep the messages coming. And again, if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Don't forget both Rockets games, pre, half, and post-game show as the Kings go on the road after losing to the Warriors. And, I was talking about this with Ryan. I'll bring it up right now so I can, read them off to you. And again, I know it's really early, so I don't want to go, gaga, over a handful of games. But I like trends, all right? And I look at trends. And I'm looking at the Western Conference right now, all right? Think about this. Dallas is 4-0, and then you have three other teams with one loss. You have Golden State, Denver, New Orleans. All right, so think about that. You have four teams already with one or fewer losses. Now, the schedule in the NBA, by the way, the Pelicans are resting Zion Williamson already. It's a joke. All right. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. They're resting him against the Pistons. You got Toronto at Philly. All right. I told you about Detroit at New Orleans. Utah host Orlando. San Antonio at Phoenix. Detroit, we mentioned. All right. You got Orlando. Told you about that game. Tomorrow, all right, you got an interesting bunch of games headed Dallas and Denver. Think about that for a minute. Dallas and Denver, right? That's going to be an interesting game. One loss team against a team that is not lost. I don't know about you, all right? I'm going to go with Denver in this game. We look at the Kings, and I always like to look at 5-game increments. All right. The first Houston game is the 5th game. But if you're looking at 5 games from right now, all right, Houston on Saturday, Houston Monday, Portland at home Wednesday, Oklahoma City at home Friday, Cleveland on Monday. Those are your next 5 games. All right? There you have it. There you have it. We'll see. But those next 3 games has to be there. All right? Has to be there. Do I think people are overreacting to the Heat starting winless? I wonder if it's plus money on them making the playoffs. Well, I don't know about anything about, money on them making the playoffs. I don't gamble. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. All right? I don't pay attention to any of that stuff at all. I don't gamble, so I don't care. They're not winless. They're 1-4, but I understand. All right? I understand. Your living room is beautiful. I wish it was my living room, but it's not. But thank you very much. It's my good friends. I wish it was my living room. It is beautiful. I would agree with you. It's gorgeous. Not mine, though. Wish it was mine, but it's not. All right? I don't know what happened with the Google commercial that used my catch line. If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. It's pretty awful by them, though. I'll tell you that. Do I expect the Saints to handle the Bears this week? I do, but for me to expect anything from the Saints is asking a lot. But I think they will. Yes, I do. I think they will beat the Bears. When you look at the Saints in that division, the NFC South, think about this. Atlanta's 4-4, New Orleans 4-4, Tampa Bay is 3-4. The only team out of it is Carolina at 1-6. All right. So I do, Cody. What about you? I think the Saints are going to beat the Bears. I do. And again, I go over the schedule this week in the National Football League. Again, we talk about tonight, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. And then, again, the early game over in Germany, Frankfurt, Miami at Kansas City. By the way, I hate the NFL playing over in Europe. I hate it. Why is the NFL playing a game in Frankfurt? Someone please answer me that. Minnesota at Atlanta. Cleveland hosts Arizona. The Rams are at Green Bay. Washington is in New England. We just talked about Chicago at New Orleans. Seattle at Baltimore. Houston home to Tampa. Indy's on the road to Carolina. Giants in Vegas. Dallas at Philly. Then you have the Buffalo-Cincinnati game on Sunday. And the Chargers at the Jets on Monday. There's your lineup right there. Hey, don't forget, folks, if you have any plumbing issues, make sure you go to New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Just go to saxserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. And remember, they're available 24/7. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Don't forget, this weekend, we've got the Kings and the Rockets, pre, half, and post right here on If You Don't Like That. That's right. Don't forget to make your Thursday night football picks. Good job right there, Rhino. Ryan, if you want to jump on with me, feel free to do so. And we can update the standings and everything else, and we can talk for a couple of minutes. So you're more than welcome to join me if you want. We can go over that. I don't even know where the hell I'm at. I don't even look. I know that I'm probably the only one in the damn pool, the Pick'em League, that doesn't have any idea where they're at. I don't ever look. I don't even know if I know how to look at the standings. I just make my picks, and then I move on to the next week. So, yeah, don't forget to make your Thursday night football picks, everyone, that are in the Pick'em League. So, yeah, thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Cody says he is rolling with the Saints, his survivor pick. Wow. You're still in the survivor league, Cody? That's good. That's good at this point. A lot of people are out of that thing in the first week or two. That's good you're still in the survivor league, and you think they cover the 7.5 as well. Okay. Good job right there on the survivor league. Here we are. Cody made it to November in his survivor league. Now, Cody, you can only pick one team once, right? In other words, if you pick, let's say, Kansas City, you can't pick them the rest of the year, correct? So each week you have to pick a team that you have not picked before. Is that correct? I've never been in a survivor pool, but generally that's how they work, which would make sense. All right? Which would make sense. That's pretty good. If you're in a survivor league, Cody says correct. That's pretty good to be in your survivor league. I bet you there aren't that many left, Cody. How many do you know how many were in the league to begin with and how many remain? I would be very curious to know that. That's good to be in November. Make it all the way to November. That's good. You know, you think picking games is easy, the Survivor League. It's not. And you always try to go for the one that you absolutely positively say, oh, well, they'll never lose. And then they lose. You know? All right. Oh, Flynnbot, my fraternity brother, and Anita at 66 and 55. I'm at 63 and 58. All right, I'll take that. Good job, Flynnbot. Flynnbot's a big-time Browns fan. Flynnbot is a good buddy of mine. And again, we had a great several years together at Bowling Green State University as a Phi Delta. And Flynnbot joining the league and doing very well. Anita, good job right there. Love that. All right. I am in 16th place. Hey, the fact that I have a winning record at 63 and 58, I'm happy about that. All right. So, Cody said, Grant, I heard about this Survivor League in your Pick'em League. It's Mr. Cubs Survivor League. All right. Good. Good. You know, I like that. How about that? They're not going to cancel the Thursday night games. All right. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm totally fine if they cancel Thursday night games. They're usually awful and non-competitive. The NFL is putting players at risk for a buck. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And I'll tell you what else is bad on Thursday Night Football. One of the great announcers of my generation, Al Michaels, has not done a good job. He and Kirk Herbstreit are not good together. They do not mesh. And I think it's a bad job. I think Al Michaels, he almost makes it seem like he would rather be anywhere else but announcing Thursday Night Football. And I have the utmost respect for Al, okay? I mean, love Al Michaels, but I don't think he does a good job on Thursday Night Football. Grant, do you think the 49ers Super Bowl window is closing or still open for a few more years? Clearly open for a few more years. I don't know why you would think it's closing. I don't think it's closing at all. You know, I really don't. I like the Niners. I still think that they'll find themselves, get back on track. I think they're too good. I think picking up Chase Young is a big move. So I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to be just fine. Speaking of just fine, make sure you get to one of Bennett's 3 locations, including their newest, Bennett's West Side Grill at the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, check out their menu, make a reservation. It's all there for you. And Bennett's West Side Grill is awesome. All right. Again, Bennett's West Side Grill at the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Again, Thursday Night Football coming up in a little less than an hour. Good job. Cody says that Kevin Kugler and Ross Tucker on the Westwood Run radio call. Kevin does a great job. I like Ross too, but Kevin's play-by-play, I think, is outstanding. I think he does a great job. I think his radio call is as good as there is. Really good. So, yeah. I knew that Ian was not working a game this week. He's got next Thursday, I believe. Ian Eagle does most of the Thursday package, and sometimes it interferes with NBA that he's doing for both the Brooklyn Nets and TNT. He's a busy cat. Ian Eagle also does college basketball on CBS. He's actually the lead announcer this year on college basketball for CBS. You think he's got enough going on or what? Jim Nance no longer doing college basketball for CBS. Ian is the main guy right now. So good job there for Ian Eagle. But, obviously he does the NFL on CBS with Charles Davis. He does the Thursday night package for most of the year. He does the Nets on TV, and he does college basketball for CBS and the NBA on TNT. Yes, please hit the like button. Thank you very much. And subscribe if you have not already done so. All right. Cody says, I love Kevin Harlan on the radio. Yep. Love Kevin Harlan on the radio, too. He's got a lot of good energy. Love Kevin Harlan as a person. Great guy. Class act. Really have admired Kevin for many, many years. Great guy. If you could meet Kevin Harlan, you would love him. Really a good person. I don't know of anyone that does not like Kevin Harlan. Same thing with that, Ian Eagle. Ian is just a phenomenal person. Phenomenal. Really good guy. All right. Again, if you send me the message, I'll do my best to answer it. Not going to go super long on the show today. Wanted to do an open forum for a while and get you ready for Thursday Night Football. I picked Pittsburgh in my game tonight. I think in this environment, short week, I like them. I think it's going to be a close game. Tennessee seems to play much better at home than on the road. And a short week again, I think Pittsburgh will prevail in this game. All right. That's a heck of a division with Cincinnati. Baltimore looks like the best team right now. But here come the Bengals and then Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Really good. All right. Cody wants to know on Monday Night Football, do I tune in to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, or do I try and watch the Manning cast? I go back and forth, Cody. A lot depends on who the Mannings have on as a guest. Sometimes the Manning cast to me gets too far away from the game. I really do watch the game. Also, if the matchup is not that intriguing to me, I'll be more inclined to watch the Manning cast to be entertained. But sometimes the Manning cast gets a little too carried away for me. I like it, but I go back and forth. All right? I go back and forth. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but I go back and forth. All right? Haunted Horse, how are you today? Does either team get an advantage in Germany, Kansas City, Miami game? No, I don't think so. I think it's the same for both teams. It's truly a neutral field. I don't think any team gets an advantage or a disadvantage. All right? I really don't. This is interesting that Brock Purdy is an example of the 49ers system making average quarterbacks look better than what they really are. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I don't think that they have a system and it's an example of making average quarterbacks look better than what they are. I think that's kind of a myth. I've talked about this with Sean Salisbury. I think obviously if you have a really good offensive line and you have a really good running back and you have a really good tight end and you have really good receivers, as a quarterback, you're more inclined to play better. Okay? But NFL defenses are so complex and the schemes are so challenging to figure out that you have to be a good quarterback to to excel. All right. And yeah, you're going to be better if you have good players around you. What do you think would happen if you took Tua and put him on the New York Giants? You think Tua would be that good? Think about that for a minute. If I took Tua and put him on the Giants, you really think they'd be that much better? I don't. Why? They have a bad offensive line, and it starts right there. So I'm not a big believer in that. Well, gee, the quarterback, really, if he were on another team, wouldn't be that good. Well, yeah, it's not. It's more the players around him than it is the system. All right. If I took Brock Purdy and put him on the Kansas City Chiefs, he'd still be pretty good. All right. He wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes good, but he'd be pretty good. If I took Brock Purdy and put him on the Miami Dolphins, he'd be pretty good. If I put Brock Purdy and put him on the Giants, he wouldn't be very good. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. All right. All right. Hornet Horse chiming in. The 49er system is very complicated, and I think Purdy excels because he's really quick at going through his first, second, and third progressions hyper fast. Bingo. I'm right with you on that. I think you're spot on, Patrick says Jack Buck and Hank Stram. Boy, I missed their call on Monday Night Football Radio. They were great. They were great. I agree with you. Jack Buck and Hank Stram. Wow. I agree with you. Absolutely. Pretty good. They were great. Loved them. If you are a younger generation, you never got a chance to hear Jack Stram do games. He was great, Can't wait, Ricky says, to get Trent Williams back, to get the run game going again. A young quarterback's best friend, even a veteran quarterback's best friend. Yeah, they need Trent Williams back. You're exactly right. 100% correct. They absolutely do. No doubt about it. I mean, he's that good. He's that important. Hey, I want to tell you about Blazona Development and their project they have that's going on in Calusa. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can learn everything about Sunrise Landing. All right. Now, they have a variety of models to choose from, six and all. These are beautiful homes in Calusa. The first phase is already sold out. They're on the phase 2 and 3. And again, if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can check out everything going on with Sunrise Landing. So again, just check it out, CalusaSunrise.com. Beautiful homes in Calusa. No Mellorews, no homeowners at Sunrise Landing. All right, again, don't forget that coming up Saturday, Kings and the Rockets. We have got big-time football this weekend, both college and the NFL, which begins tonight. All right? Peter wants to know my thoughts on the 49ers picking up Chase Young, and they got him for basically nothing. That's what's amazing to me. So the Washington Commanders give up on Young and Sweat, and they get, for Chase Young, they get basically nothing. Now, I know Young was probably going to be gone from Washington anyway, from the Commanders, but if he stays healthy, that's a big time. That is a big-time pickup. Big-time pickup by the 49ers. That's if he stays healthy. All right, Thursday Night Football. Titans, Steelers. Should be a lot of fun. I appreciate you being here on my open forum. We have a lot of fun going back and forth. And again, we've got Kings coverage with the pre-halftime and post-game. Love the questions. I don't know if I would say it was a bad loss for the Kings last night as I wrap up this show. It's a game that they could have won and probably should have won. So you play 82, you're going to have games like that. I mean, San Antonio beat Phoenix the other night. That should have never happened. Okay? So I want to get to this message before I go. C-Dog, I didn't see the press conference with James Harden today. Can you elaborate a little bit as best you can? And what was embarrassing about it? I'll go back and watch it. I missed it today, C-Dog. But nothing surprises me with James Harden. But again, back to the Kings last night. They should have won the game. They should have won the game. They had to allow Curry to drive the way he did and score after a made basket and the Harrison Barnes shot clock violation. Can't have that. Keegan going 0 of 7 from 3. Barnes, nothing great. Sabonis missing 5 free throws. Think about all of that, and you only lost by a point. C-Dog, adding into this, said, I'm not a system player. I am a system. And that the Sixers had him on a leash, so he couldn't excel. He is an embarrassment. You're exactly right. He is an embarrassment. Johnny wants to know, will Sasha Vezenkov be a major contributor to the Kings this year? No, he will not. He will be a contributor. He will not be a major contributor. Now, there might be a game where he goes off, but game in, game out, no. And I think when Trey Lyles comes back, his minutes are going to be really diminished because Trey Lyles is a better player, better all-around player right now. Now, could that change? That could change. But right now, that's the way I see it. All right? That's the way I see it. Sea-Dog, I don't know who wins, the Raiders and the Giants. Daniel Jones is back. Saquon Barkley. I picked the Giants in my pool, but to me, it's a pick'em game. It's a pick'em game. All right, folks, enjoy Thursday Night Football. Always appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for your support, and we'll catch you next time right here on If You Don't Like That. So long, everybody.